Well, hello there, people there that out, and hello again. I'm TheMBmulti. Welcome to part, I believe this is 13 of my Doki Doki Lost Ascension Let's Play series. I can't remember what happened in the previous episode because it's been a long time. Whatever, just watch it. Oh, glad you didn't run away on us. Monica seemed caught off guard. Oh yeah, again, if you save and load, then it doesn't do the thought bubble color properly, so I don't know whose thoughts these are. Monica seemed caught off guard by his sudden appearance as much as I was. Everyone else in the room tensed up a bit as they turned their heads. Nah, don't worry, this may be a little strange for you, but I at least keep my word. He moved over towards Yuri as he waited for her response. She stepped back and prepared herself, seemingly hiding her emotions as best she could. Thanks for keeping your promise. I know it's difficult to dive headfirst into something such as literature when you aren't very She seemed to pause, catching herself before continuing her sentence. When you aren't very accustomed to it. She let out a quiet sigh of relief as she calmed her nerves. Oh, whatever, like he deserves any slack. Okay, well I guess this is Sayori then. Natsuki stormed up to him and stared him down. I instinctively reached up and adjusted my bow. Don't go too far, Natsuki. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this last year. Or this year for that matter. Don't think you can just come here to relax and screw around. She puffed her cheeks in a defiant manner. If you don't take us seriously, I'll never let you hear the end of it. Got it? The expressed feeling of success on her face was quickly replaced with her resistant nature. She went back over to her chair and sat down with a smirk. He looked at me after she spoke, and I felt a struggle of anxiety rise as I stood up in front of everyone. Don't worry, guys. Mark always gives it his best even when he isn't asked. What? That cannot be Sayori's line. I stopped myself from continuing, knowing full well that I was supposed to compliment him after Sayori's words. Monica snuck a smile at me as I looked over towards Yuri, her glance affirming my next move. Yuri brought you something today. Yuri regained her confidence before throwing out a very fake nervous gasp. Wait, Sayori, I smiled a bit at Yuri's passion for this whole act. Something for me? He looked at Yuri curiously as she tried to deflect the approach, or whatever his curious look was supposed to qualify as. What? I'm every single time I have so much trouble reading through this. It's so stupid. They know damn well that he is not even doing this of his own accord. He's still forced to react this way by the codes or whatever, because Monica very conveniently freed everyone except for him. Now, and that's supposed to be me, but I feel more disconnected from this MC than ever before. Well, it isn't that big of a deal. She looked away from him, her eyes gazing towards a certain pink-haired girl, one who was looking back at her worriedly. Don't be shy, Yuri. Just share it with them. She seemed genuinely split over this whole scenario. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see Natsuki nodding, even if it was a frown. She wanted Yuri to do it too. Okay, I will. She walked back to her desk and reached down into her bag, pulling out a book. I could tell she looked uncomfortable while doing this, but instead of giving in, she seemed to re-prepare herself and faced him head on. Why are they acting like they're so, all of a sudden they're so incredibly disgusted by him, just like the fucking being on the same planet as them, even though they're not technically on Earth because they're in my computer. Well, they're technically on Earth in the end, but if you know what I mean, their world is completely fake, and they know it, but they magically, conveniently forget it from time to time. It's so fucking stupid. It's really fucking stupid that they all act like that. so with such resentment and stuff. It's so stupid. It's unjustified, it's stupid, it's out of character for all of them. And I guess I know that their personality is a bit different now because, you know, the game is not dictating who they are and they are who they are themselves, you know? But still, even then, it's out of character. You know, especially for a bunch of people that completely forgave Monica, you know, the person that drove them to suicide a whole bunch of times. They just forgave her just like that. And then this guy who has done nothing wrong, all of a sudden they're like they're so angry, like they're so bitter towards him. It's so stupid. I really have trouble getting through this mod. I kind of really want to just like play something else, really. I never really had that before, but they're so out of character. And not only that, like if they hated him, like if there was like a storyline where they hated the MC or whatever, or me, I actually deliberately call it the MC because me myself, I'm so fucking disconnected from the MC in this case. Like usually I just say, oh, me, or I would do that, or they hate me, or they like me, or, you know, because I just see the MC and me as the same person. But here, I'm so incredibly fucking disconnected from him. I guess that's the point, but it feels weird as well, being disconnected from the guy that I'm supposed to be, you know? The guy that I'm sort of controlling, because I'm not even controlling him. But yeah, like if there was like they hated him for some reason or whatever, like that's fine. I can live with that because, you know, that was in Blue Skies too. You know, the arguments that, you know, I was a bit salty about how the argument started with Yuri, for example, in Blue Skies, because it was pretty avoidable in my mind, but still. There had to be an argument, and that's fine. And you know, the problem wasn't the argument, the problem was in my opinion, wonky start of the argument, which could have been avoided in my mind. But, you know, the problem wasn't the fact that there was an argument, because that's fine. Them hating me or the MC is not really the problem, because usually, you know, you resolve it and whatnot, and, you know, but here, there has been no efforts to resolve it. They just hate him and everybody's okay with it. And they just, like, their whole goal is to just kill him, I believe. Or, like, make him end, you know. Even though, again, he hasn't done shit. The only person who's done shit is Monica. But they just forgave her just like that. So not only do they just completely not even try to forgive him, they also have to constantly remind me, the reader of this story, every single second how much they hate them. And that is getting really fucking boring and frustrating and, like, not fun to read for me either. Like, every single, like, 2-3 sentences, they have to throw in another sentence about how they hate the MC, or how something he does is wrong just because he does it. Like, I gave this example before. He can cure cancer, and it would be stupid just because he's the one doing it. That's the feeling that I'm getting from all of these, from all of them, and that is so out of character for all of them. Again, yes, their personality is a bit different because, you know, the point of this story is that the code is not dictating who they are dictating who they are themselves, which is a fucking interesting concept. But then they do this with it. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, every single time when I start this back up to make another episode, I'm just like, oh my god, I just want to stop. But also, I really don't want to stop. But also, I really want to stop. I really understand now why everybody's hated it so much. Well, not everybody. There are people that like... I believe there were... I mean, there are always people that like something, but... I completely understand why so many people absolutely hated this. I really understand. Because I hate it too. It's just like, what the hell? There's so many things wrong with it. I've already pointed out how the story makes no sense so far. And the humongous plot holes that appear. And also there's just this, you know. They just hate him for no reason. They don't give him a single chance to redeem himself. For some reason, Monica magically, very nicely and conveniently kept him enslaved to the code while freeing everybody else and making them better people and stuff, you know? But magically, they just kept him in his cage, you know, with a fucking, like, chain around his neck. Monica very conveniently left him that way, just because. Who knows? Again, my headcanon is still that Monica, that this isn't the story about them becoming self-aware or whatever. It's just a story about Monica being extremely butthurt that the player deleted her and that this is her revenge. That's my headcanon, and that would actually make the story a whole lot more enjoyable. Just to see Monica being the most evil douchebag in existence. But yeah, they all act entitled, they all act like they are the victim while ignoring someone else who is maybe equally as much or even more the victim than they are. They forgive the person that killed them over and over again. They absolutely hate the person that wanted to save them over and over. And they have to fucking remind me, the reader, every single 3 sentences. And that is also just like annoying to read. Alright, he tried to take it, but Yuri didn't let go of it easily. Oh no, I gasped a little to myself as Monica looked over at her. Eyes wide, she shook her head as she stood up straight. She mouthed let it go as she took a small step towards the two to intervene. Luckily, Yuri finally let the book go. Or while staring him, like every time, like they can't even put that normally. It has to fucking be in bold. Just like, like they feel physical pain by even mentioning him in the third person. It's so fucking stupid. Like that doesn't, you don't do that with a person that has watched their best friends die 15 million times over and wasn't able to save them, even though he wanted to. That's not how you treat someone like that. That's how you treat. That's how you treat Adolf Hitler, you know? If you were to meet him and you had to interact with him, and, you know, maybe your ancestor, like part of your family tree was eradicated due to what he did, you know, that is how that's how you act to someone like that, you know? That's how you act to Adolf Hitler, or someone who murdered someone, like a member of your family, or someone who, even someone who, like, bullied you extremely heavily in high school to the point where you, well, in Yuri's example, maybe like turn to self-harm. That's how you treat someone like that. Then you like feel absolute disgust even mentioning that person in the third person. That makes sense, you know. That I can completely understand that. If you're talking about someone who like bullied you to the point of self-harm, if you're talking about someone who murdered someone from your family, if you're talking about someone who like did some inappropriate sexual things with you, I completely understand if you talk about that person like that. I completely understand, and I would definitely not make such a big deal out of it as I am right now. Definitely not. I understand it 100%. But none of that shit applies. He didn't do shit. He tried to save his friends. He had to watch his friends kill themselves over and over and over again, and was not allowed to do anything about it, just as much as they were not allowed to escape, you know? Which they think, they themselves, like, oh, we were such a victim. We were so enslaved by the code, and oh, we were forced this and that. And Monica, and you know, Monica, that's Monica's biggest excuse. Like, oh, I didn't want to do it. The code made me do it. But, you know, that's the exact same reason why he didn't actually help them. Because the code did not allow him to help. Because the code in the game says that the MC has to watch it happen, and then the game resets. You know, and then the second act begins, and everybody pretends to not know that Sayori ever existed. You know, that's just what the code says has to happen. So, Monica's excuse is the exact same excuse that the MC has. But they forgive Monica just like that, and they absolutely hate him. Makes no sense. And again, even on face value, it's stupid. They forgive the person that drove them to suicide, and they hate the person that wanted to save them but was physically not allowed to. Even on face value, that makes zero sense. And then every time I, the reader, have to fucking read that they just like disdain him so much. Which again is out of character for every single one. Even for Monica. If you just look at the vanilla game. Even for Monica it's out of character to behave that way. mean, yes, I can understand that you wanted to make your own story so that you alter their personality a little bit because you wanted to take the story in a different direction that would not be able if you kept the character in there, with the personality that they had from the vanilla game. Okay, but there's the right way to do it, and there's the annoying, stupid way to do it, and I feel like this is the annoying. This is the latter. Sorry, my grip was a little too strong. I'm just going to read through this as fast as possible, really, because I'm going to be frustrated every single time that it comes up, and it has come up a lot of times, and I'm pretty scared that it's going to come up even more. She returned to her normal nervousness as soon as the interaction continued, that brief flash of confidence disappearing once again. It's okay, Yuri, no big deal. He hooked the book under his arm and turned away, essentially floating elsewhere. Yuri glared at him, appearing absolutely furious. Like, what the fuck did he even do? He picked the book that you offered and he apologized. He apologized, even. Oh, no. He didn't apologize, but you apologized and he made no big deal out of it. What the fuck? What is there to hate about that? Why would you hate that? Why would you be angry at that? There's nothing he could have done to make it any less, provoking for you. Yuri, is everything okay? You seem really well mad. I asked my question quietly as she tried to calm down a little. No, I felt like I wanted to scream at him. She finally calmed down as she looked past me at someone behind me. I could only guess the other person was Natsuki. He's going to you again, okay? You just need to stay calm. I know you'll be fine. I said that as she looked at me again, her peaceful nature coming back a little bit as she realized what she was doing. I'm so sorry. He disgusted me. Why? What in the flying fuck did he do? Nothing. Because he wasn't allowed to do nothing. Even if you're angry at him for not doing anything, you should know damn well that he wasn't allowed to. That's the only reason why you're angry. You're angry because he did nothing, or because he, or even again, if you're angry at the player, why are you angry at the MC? You know it's a different person. And then it should be even more fucked up that you're angry at him because they don't even have free will. You had to do what the code said, but that guy the MC had to do what the code said and what I said. Like, as an extra, he wasn't even allowed to make the choice in the end when he had free choice, because that was my task. So that's worse than what you guys went through, to be honest, pretty much. I mean, you don't really want to rank, I'm the worst victim or whatever, but still, that's pretty worse in my mind. And then it makes even less sense that you're angry at him. Like, what the fuck did he do? Nothing. Because he wasn't allowed to do nothing. Like, if you're angry because he didn't do anything, because he didn't help or whatever, or because he started the game over and over again, but, you know, technically I am the one that started the game over again, so you should be angry at me. But really, you should be angry at the game developer, because he's the one that made the code like that, and that's why you're angry. You're angry that the game makes, it's the same event happening over and over. That's what you're angry at, that you had to constantly commit suicide over and over again. Due to Monica forcing you to do that. And the only person that did that is not the player, because I walked the path, but you are supposed to be angry at the person who laid out the path. And that's not me, that's the game developer. So technically you should be angry at the person who made the game in the first place. So that's misplaced. Their anger is twice misplaced. And then not only that, it's just stupid, because Monica's excuse is fine, which is the exact same excuse that the MC has, but the MC is not allowed to make a case for himself because Monica very conveniently did not allow him to make a case for himself. And even if he did, the excuse would be the exact same as Monica's excuse, and for some reason that isn't valid, even though it is the exact, word for word, letter for letter, pixel for pixel, exact same excuse that Monica had. And Monica's was fine and his is not. How the hell can that not be frustrating to anyone else with a little bit of motherfucking common sense? And how the hell did nobody realize that when they wrote the 5,000 lines in this mod, how they all hated the MC? I couldn't. I'm actually fucking done right now. I'm serious. I'm actually fucking done. I cannot. I am physically unable to continue this mod with this every single time. Every single episode so far, I have been complaining. I don't want to, but it irks something in me, and I cannot fucking finish it. I also think it's very poetic that episode 13 is the final episode. So there's also a little bit of poetic there. Like he's. Yeah. Oh yeah, well, it's so terrifying to sit next to that guy. You know, your friend, the person that actually wanted to save you but couldn't, that cried, that had to see you murder yourself over and 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 over again. Oh yeah, what a terrible, what a disgusting human being. I see him walk over there awkwardly, attempt to converse with her. Yuri was responding in an identical fashion. Her nervousness is clear. It's the book you gave me, right? Yuri nodded. Yes, I was just reading over some of my favorite parts again, is all. The character model of the boy seemed to shift into that of thought. Just curious, how come you have two copies of the same book? Yuri smiled as she took a look back towards the corner of the room, following her gaze. Only then noticed Natsuki staring hard at the two. She was digging her fingers into her desk. Well, I just happened to buy two at the bookstore yesterday. I could hear Monika audibly sigh. Isn't that what Yuri was supposed to say in response? I took a quick look at her and felt a smile grow on my face as I realized why she sighed. Monika wasn't sighing because Yuri had said the wrong thing. She was sighing at how ridiculous Yuri's reasoning actually was. It just didn't make much sense at all. Yeah, why are you angry at me then? I didn't write the line. I didn't write the code. I didn't give you those dialogue options. That's the person who made the game. You should be angry at him then if you're angry at that. It's fucking stupid. Was he really programmed to just accept that without question? You know that he... Okay, I'm actually done. I am physically unable to continue reading this. It is just agony. It is so stupid. They act in such a stupid way. It is beyond me. I cannot physically, mentally continue this mod and come better, like be a better person at the end. I cannot. There are so many things that are just triggering me. It is beyond belief how this was constructed in this way. It's so many things are wrong. Their anger is wrong. That they are all so incredibly that they all suffer from such blind anger is also weird, because you don't expect them to do that. Like Sayori, the bundle of sunshine, also like just like that, turning on, like, you know, you have to imagine, right? Monika revealed to them that their entire life was fake in the beginning of this mod. So all the memories, all the things that have been imprinted in Sayori's brain for ages, that was all apparently fake. First of all, that she just accepts that, and not only that, she just then immediately turns on the MC. Just like that. Just imagine if you, like today, right now, I tell you that your entire life right now, everything that you've lived up to this point was all fake. It's all, you're in a visual novel. Just like in Doki Doki Literature. Everything. Absolutely everything. And, I don't know, your best friend is the MC of the story, and you're just a side character. Or one of the, like, you're part of the main cast, but you're just a character in his or her story. Like, I would just tell you that, and then you like, you know, just imagine that I actually gave you the visual, what's it called? the visual confirmation that you know, like, okay, this is legit. So not only that, not only would you just see that randomly and get the, you know, not only would you just have to fucking accept that, you also have to like realize that, okay, like apparently everything is fake, you know? Do you really think that you would just take it from me straight away, Mike? If there is like evidence beyond doubt, like, okay, I cannot go around this, it is true what you're saying. Do you still think that you would actually just throw all of your memories in the trash? I highly doubt it, because you still lived through those moments. You still experienced them. And that should be for them too. They still experience those memories. They still think that the MC, you know, Sayori, in Sayori's case, they still think that that's her childhood friend, that they bake cookies together or whatnot, I don't even know. Like, that's still in your memory. And like, yeah, you know that it's fake maybe because you've seen the evidence, but do you even believe, do you like switch just like that? I highly doubt it. And especially a very kind-hearted person like Sayori, which is just the way she is, even with the depression, do you really think that she would just like turn extremely like toxic towards supposedly her best friend that she was completely enamored with? I highly fucking doubt it. And that goes for the others as well. So it's so stupid. They all act like they don't act like themselves. They just blindly follow Monica after she says a few lines like, oh yeah, by the way, it wasn't really, I didn't really mean it. That's pretty much all she said. Like, oh, okay, sure. And there's so many things wrong. There's so many things wrong. The story has so many plot holes, it's ridiculous. Like how they conveniently like forget that they're in a game and that that nothing has any meaning, and then all the time have an existential crisis about the exact same thing. Their anger is misplaced. They should be angry. They're angry at the game for it being the way that it is, that they constantly have to commit suicide. That's what they're angry about. And that the MC didn't actually like save them. But all of that is because it's coded in that way, and that is because someone else made the game. So they should all be angry at the game developer, because that's the person who laid the vanilla, because they're angry at the vanilla story. That's the person who laid the vanilla story out. And that's what they're angry about, right? They're angry that the game played out again and again and again in the exact same way, and that they were forced to commit suicide every single time without really wanting to do that. That's what they're angry about. And then they point all of the anger at not the player that went through that, but to the MC. And then the reasoning is, oh, they just wanted their happy end. But, you know, like Monica's excuse, like, oh, I didn't really mean to kill you all the time and drive you to suicide. It was the code. It wasn't me. They said, oh, sure. Well, why wasn't I allowed to help them before they committed suicide? It was the code. It's the exact same answer. It's the exact same excuse. And then you just completely say, no, fuck that. That's bullshit. It's the exact same excuse. The reason why Monica murdered them every single time is the exact same reason that I wasn't allowed to save them every time. Because someone else coded the game that way. Someone else wrote that was gonna happen. So they should be angry at the person who wrote that, and not the person who was walking along and trying to find the one loophole, because they were angry about the game restarting over and over because they wanted a happy ending for just him. No, that's not why and I'm pretty sure I can speak for a bunch of other, like a majority. I at least can say it's like 50% really. I can say that like at least 50% of the players also didn't play just for a happy ending for the player, but for a happy ending for the girls. Because I seriously can just like dare to say that most people, like at least half of everybody that played the game, started it up over and over again just because they wanted the happy ending for the girls and not necessarily for your MC character. Because, you know, you don't even see him physically in the vanilla game. And I think that's done on purpose as well. Because especially due to in the first act, because when Sayori kills herself, that's a humongous shock. And that's, you know, you're supposed to care about them a lot. And that's, of course, where the shock comes from when all of a sudden they commit suicide. Because that's, you know, that's very clever to care about them and then kill them off. You know, it's just like in TV shows. You make a character very likable, and then, of course, you know, when, like, you know, early seasons Game of Thrones or something, when they kill off a very likable character, and the entire world is in shock, like, oh my god, no way, you just did that, you know? And that's when the story becomes a good story, or a bad story if they kill your favorite character, you know? But, you know, you get what I mean. I don't even know what kind of point I was trying to make. Why was I even saying that? I forgot. It doesn't matter. I just look any video on Lost Ascension, and you can see a rant of me about something about this game that I think is done very poorly. Like, the pacing is a bit off. Like, I'm just nitpicking at this point, but the pacing is a bit weird. It's like, that's not the main issue, though, of course. But especially the big plot holes are... like, my biggest... Okay, since this is going to be the final episode, my biggest concern are... my biggest, like, reasonings are just the humongous plot holes. Like Monica saying, oh, you know, we are all, like, the whole part about that self-awareness is that you need to set some very strict boundaries. Doesn't matter where you set them and how lenient, like, they are, like, within the rules themselves. But the rules themselves, like, in general, they have to be set. You can determine yourself whether they're very strict or lenient or whatnot. But you have to set them and you have to fucking stick by them. Or have a good reason to change them later on. But you have to set them and stand by them. From the moment you set them, from the second that the end credits roll. And the biggest flaw I had with this game was that, with this mod, is that they started off with Monica going, like, the full 9 yards, or whatever the expression is, like, explaining everything. Like, it's a game, you're in a piece of code, so you're not physical, like, you're not a school, you're just everything. And then a few moments later, Sayori reminisces about something. Like, yeah, I understand why it would be hard for her to let go of her memories, because she technically has, you know, it's just like what I just, like the, what's it called? Like the example I just gave. Like, hey, just imagine I just told you that your entire life is fake. You're just a side character in a TV show or whatever. Like a Truman Show kind of thing. Like, yeah, I understand that you wouldn't just throw all of your memories in the trash right away. But you would have, like, some doubts, right? Like you would have some doubts, or you would maybe, well, actually, maybe the reminiscing is not that much of a, it's not that good of an example, but at least there should be conflict there. Like, Sayori just threw it in the trash within a few minutes, you know, like, oh yeah, he was my childhood friend. Oh no, he wasn't. Oh yeah, well, in that case, he's just a random dude then. That's not how it works either, you know? Like, they should struggle with it, really, you know? Like, they should, like, oh, there's my childhood friend. Oh, no, hang on a minute. Everything is fake, apparently, according to Monica. Oh, but I kind of like him. But is that true? Is that because I'm living off the memories that are apparently fake? Like, yeah, that is what should happen. And that's an interesting story, watching them struggle with that. That they, like, come to grips with, okay, apparently it's fake, but, you know, my feelings are still real now because I am not doing what the code says that I need to do. So, you know, I still have feelings for this guy, in this case, you know. Like, is that fake or is that true? Like, you know, that's interesting. That's actually an interesting story, that you can see them struggle with that. Like, what is real, what is not, what is fabricated, and what is not. And, what, you know, you can choose what you believe, or a little bit, you know, all that type of stuff. That's not the point I was trying to make, but, you know, in case of the Sayori reminiscing and stuff, that's what should have happened, but that's not what happened. She just reminisced various things as if she didn't know that she was in a game. Just happen, like, she only very selectively reminisces things. Like, oh, I think about this thing because it makes me happy. Ignoring the fact that is fake, ignoring all the possible existential crises that I could get from it, ignoring all of that, you know, but only think about that. And then another time, very selectively, oh, this is actually, oh, I have existential crisis about this. Like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. And that's not how an emotional person like Sayori works either. So, but then that was not the point that I was trying to make. The point that I was trying to, with a better example, the point I was trying to make is, for example, when they had breakfast, that's not possible. Monica said it's just a bunch of scenes in a script, you know. Monica gave them the whole story. It's all fake, you know, everything, the dialogue, everything was set in stone. And, you know, you can only do so much that the game has to offer. And then all of a sudden they you know, Natsuki cooked dinner, they ate, cooked breakfast, they ate like beans and like eggs and toast or whatever. Like, no, that's not in the game. There's not a physical like copy of that. No, it's just a bunch of text saying Sayori liked eggs and toast for breakfast in the first time you show your poem. Like, it's not actually in the game, but they just pretend like it is. But they also know that it is a game, and they know what's in the game files because they know the fucking soundtracks by title. So they know exactly what's in the game files. And yet they use things that aren't in the game files. Like, you know, you set the rules in the beginning, and then you completely break them, or ignore them, and trample over them. Like, it's confusing as all hell. I really just, in general, like, me personally, I do not like the Dokis become self-aware storylines, mostly because I haven't really seen a mod that executed it well. I guess that if it's written well, it can work wonders, and I'm gonna love it probably. But I've not seen a mod where it was written well. So, you know, it just comes off as weird and frustrating because it's very far-fetched. Like, because it's fourth wall breaking, but then done a bit wonky in my mind, because the fourth wall breaking in the vanilla game was done very well. You know, Monica knows that it was a game, and, you know, she revealed everything. She was the mastermind. She drove the others to suicide. She was the one that was forced to stand by the sidelines, and that's what drove her crazy and what drove her to murder, essentially. You know, and it's understandable motive. It makes sense. You know, it explains a lot of things. If you replay the mod, if you replay the game after that, you can see, you know, everything makes sense. Monica looks directly at, you know, Monica's sprite is not angled. She looks directly at the player. A whole bunch of her lines have like innuendo where she actually like talks to the person playing the game. You know, like if you play the game again after you played for the first time, you start to notice those things. So everything like falls, like puzzle pieces, like all fall into each other. It makes sense. That's fourth wall breaking done to the fucking perfection. But then here, and also with Encore, because Encore also had a little bit of that, where they were self-aware and they were talking about the game. There it was just like the whole objective was a bit too far-fetched and a bit out of nowhere, and there was not really any build-up in my mind. Like the whole point in Encore was that they wanted to travel to our reality and be real human beings, because the game was running out of script and it was on the verge of death. Roughly, that's what Monica's goal was in Encore. Well, she wanted a second chance, which is, you know, Encore. Good, you know, the name that makes sense. But then also, like, in the end, it kind of like switched, like, oh, we have to get out of here because the game is on the verge of death. But, you know, it was a bit too far-fetched because, you know, them being just a bunch of ones and zeros, being transported into our world, like, how in the flying fuck is that even possible? Like, you know, you can download on a USB stick and carry it around with you. Yeah, technically they're out of the game then, you know, but, you know, like, they want to have a physical body so that they can touch you, the player, like, you know, they can actually touch you and stuff and be with you properly. That's what they wanted in Encore, but it's so far-fetched. So there is, like, you just know that that's never happening because you know that it is fucking impossible. Like maybe if you play Encore in the year 2176 or something, maybe then it actually makes a lot of sense because it is not very difficult for an AI to download into a physical body or something, you know? And even then, they could have made that a little bit easier to digest, you know? But they just didn't, and that felt so. It was very far-fetched, which automatically means that because you know it is impossible, you automatically care less because you know like that's never happening because you just know it's like not possible. And not only that, there were also like the urgency was that the game was running out of script and the game was about to break and all that type of stuff, but you didn't see anything about that. There was no visual confirmation of that. It ran smoother. I made the joke before. It ran smoother than Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Like, and it's supposed to be a game that was on the verge of death. Like, if I hesitated for 1 second longer, then blue screen of death and gone, and I could never start Doki Doki Literature Club up again. You know, that's what was supposed to happen in the background, but you didn't see anything of that. You know, there's so many things you could have done. There's so many glitches, and you know, just look in the vanilla game. In the second and third acts, you know, when Monica is taking control, you know, when she drags the mouse to the option Monica, that you cannot choose Yuri or Natsuki because she drags the mouse towards her own option. That, you know, the sprites are fucked up and glitches and text going weird and the background turning and Yuri's eye traveling off the sides and all kind of random crap, like weird, creepy shit. There's tons of stuff that you could have done. Because, you know, that's what sold it in the vanilla game. That's, you know, the reason why the game was falling apart is, you know, Monica murdered off Sayori and then she murdered off Yuri, and, you know, the game was all falling apart because it wasn't really, because they were looking for characters that weren't there anymore because Monica deleted them, and that you saw that the game was suffering from it because that creepy shit kept happening. So, you know, it was actually visually established there. But in Encore, it was just mentioned and you were just supposed to buy it. And then, like I said, the rest of the story was very far-fetched. So, you know, and then also this mod, and I've already gone on many rants on this mod why it makes no sense. But yeah, I just don't really like plots that involve the Dogish becoming self-aware. Mostly because I haven't seen a good one yet. Maybe there are some good ones out there, but I just haven't played them yet. So yeah, the plot of this mod is very far-fetched, and it's full with plot holes, humongous ones, and you know, they keep stumbling into them, and I keep noticing them because, you know, like, And then, like I said, the unjustified hate makes no sense. They should hate the game developer because the reason why they're angry is because they're angry that the game is coded this way, and for some reason that means that they're angry at the MC, who is more like the biggest slave to the code out of all of them, the biggest victim out of all of them technically, and they're angry at him for some reason, not the player, which would make a bit more sense, but no, mostly they're angry at the MC. Or they're angry at the player, but they're gonna get the MC, even though, you know, that's technically a different person that has never had free will. So, you know, it's just like, what the flying hell? It makes absolutely no sense. And they're angry all the time, which is out of character. Even Sayori, just like that, drops her childhood best friend just because Monica said that he isn't her childhood best friend. And she's like, oh, okay. And it's fine, you know, like what the fuck, and like even if she just accepted that the MC is not her childhood friend very easily, even if she accepted that, Sayori is a very kind person. Why the hell would she like be so resentful to him? That makes no sense. Again, because, and also, yeah, they're angry at him because he didn't help them and he started the game up over and over again. Which again, that's not him, that's me. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to find a good ending for them. That's why I tried over and over again. That's why I tried every option, like, technically, you know? Because that's supposedly the backstory of the player and the MC in this mod. That's what, but I didn't do that just because I wanted to have, I was sad that my MC character had a bad ending. I didn't care. I did not want to see Yuri stab herself to death. I did not want to see Sayori hanging from the ceiling. And I didn't even want to see Natsuki being deleted from existence. That's why I tried again and again and again to find a different ending, because I wanted them to be happy. Like, fuck my MC character. Like I said, I think it's deliberate that he wasn't physically present in the vanilla game, because you're supposed to care about the girls, and that is where the shock comes from when they killed themselves. And you shouldn't like be the, oh, I really want a nice girl for my random MC character. No, you want them to be happy too. That's like the power of the game. And it's so logical, in my mind, it makes so much sense to think that way, but they think, no, he's just out to get us. And they're all so vile to him, and it's so stupid. It makes no sense. And, you know, like I said, Monika's excuse is the exact same excuse as the MC, but the MC's excuse is invalid, while Monika's is valid. You know, even though it's the exact same excuse, makes no sense. The fact that they're all so incredibly hateful towards him and that, like, they physically cringe when they're next to him, makes no sense. It's so out of character. And you know that they don't even like, they act so out of character, so stupid. And then also, and not only that, they have to remind the player, the person reading it, like every single time, every 2-3 sentences, they have to mention it. They have to throw, like, what the fuck? It feels like one of those extremely fake, like, you know, one of those extremely fake people that call themselves feminists but aren't actually feminists, you know? Those people that go, we hate all men just because, you know? The people that make actual feminists go, oh my god, why the hell are we associated with humongous idiots like them? That's what it feels like it was written by. Someone like that. Like, the people that, pollute the water of a humongous community just because they are insane. That's what it feels like. Like those people, I call it like with feminists in this case, because it just because it's against the only male character here, really. So that's makes it the easiest. What's it called? The easiest way to compare it. Like those. So to go with that example. It feels like it was written by one of those feminists that say, oh, we hate all men should like be killed off, and you know, all the kind of crazy shit that they say. The kind of crazy shit that they say that make actual feminists that want to do, you know, feminist things, which is, you know, equal rights for men and women, because that's what it is about. They go, the actual people, they go, oh my god, why the hell are those people associated with our movement? Or why do they claim our movement as their own? Because that's not what we want, but they have the loudest mouth, so they get in the news the most often, and that's why our movement gets that image, you know? That's what it feels. It feels like it was written by someone like that. Like, someone that calls themselves a feminist because they hate all men, and that makes everybody else who is an actual feminist like, oh my god, no, that's not what we are about. That's what it feels like. It was written by someone like that. Like, every time I have to be reminded that the MC or a human male is like a vile creature that is like that deserves nothing good happening to them. Why? Just because he has has XY chromosomes. Like, no other reason. Not because he actually did something bad. Not because he actually is a racist or a sexist or because he murdered somebody, or because he like sexually assaulted somebody, or like, no, not because of any legitimate reason. No, just because. That's the reason why. That's enough. Just because. Like, that's why the fuck would I need to give an explanation? Just because. Like, no, that's not how it works. And that's not how, like, 98% of humanity works either. You don't just say, oh, all men or all women or all trans people or what have you are bad just because. That's just not how it works. Like, bit of a crooked example, but even very crooked example, but even Hitler didn't say the Jews were bad just because. Like, yeah, they just used them as a scapegoat, but they gave, like, every single problem of Germany was pushed onto them. Like, they were corrupt, they were Yeah, and communists as well, because they also really hated communists. But, you know, every single problem was pushed onto them. And, you know, they were corrupt. That's the reason why Germany was bankrupt. They were the ones shooting innocent Germans in the street. Like, you know, they actually gave... The reasons were completely fake, obviously, but they gave reasons. Because even the fucking Nazis knew, oh yeah, we can't just say, oh yeah, they are bad just because. We need to give a legitimate reason so that everybody will actually get on board with what we think. And that's what they did. They gave them fake reasons why everybody should hate communists and Jews, and everybody, you know, and with the humongous propaganda machine that they threw against it, it worked, you know? Because they said, oh yeah, innocent German boy shot in the street by communists. Print that in all the newspapers in all of Germany. Yeah, if that's the only medium you have to get your information, you're gonna get a lot of angry citizens that way. You know, they didn't print headlines saying "communist bad" just because, says Adolf Hitler. They didn't. Like, how the fuck would anyone take that seriously? Like, if they just said that, they're just bad just because I think so. Why? Well, just because I say so. No real reason. I don't need to give a reason. Like, nobody would take that seriously. You need to give reasons why they're bad, and that's what they did. They made fake reasons why they were disgusting creatures, why they should be eradicated from this earth. You know. But here it's just not. It's just like, yeah, just because, nothing more, just because. And that's stupid. Nobody thinks like that. Well, maybe some people think like that, but that's not the majority of humanity that thinks like that. Everybody may be angry at something, but they're all angry at something or someone because of a reason. Not just because. I just want to be angry today, so I'm going to be angry at this part of the population for no fucking reason. Like, yeah, I guess maybe there are humans on this earth that think that way, but I can tell you that it's not the majority of humanity that thinks that way. A lot of people are angry, are distrust other people and are angry at other people. I don't deny that, but they have a reason. The reason can be flawed. The reason can be incorrect. The reason can be correct from their point of view. That reason, I don't know. But there is a reason. They don't just hate people just because. Like, again, there could be humans that do that, but that's not the majority of humanity that thinks that way. There is a reason. And here, it's just no reason. It's just... Well, even if they don't even... Like, I'm done. I'm done. I can go on. I can go on ranting for like a few hours. But I really am tired. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I really want to play just a mod that makes me feel a bit better. Because every single time when I procrastinate playing this mod every single time, every single week, because I really don't want to play it, because it's just like, no. It's not even, like, it's no fun. Like I said, them being angry at the MC is not a problem, but if it's written well. But just an entire mod where they just constantly chew him out for no reason, like... And again, because he didn't even do anything. He was forced to watch his friends commit suicide over and over and over again. And they chew him out for not helping them or something. Like, they chew him out for... He watched his friends commit suicide over and over and over again. And they chew him out and hate him and, like, say vile things about him. Because the game forced them to commit suicide. And that is the story of this game. And I don't know how on earth the player or the reader is supposed to make that work in their mind, because there's no way you can make that work. Like, yeah, it's nicely written in the sense that it's very descriptive, and, you know, there are not that many grammatical errors or anything, so it reads pleasantly and all that type of stuff. But the what is being written is just disgusting. I'm just gonna say it out loud there. I cannot finish this mod. I really cannot. I'm going to have a fucking rant like this every single time I'm gonna make an episode, and I do not want that, because I do not want to just like constantly play this game that is going to make, like, boil up my blood pressure and is going to, like, I feel like it's shortening my lifespan almost. Like, I'm being melodramatic, I know, but I feel like it's like, you know, I'm like deliberately making my life less happy by playing this, forcing myself to play this mod over and over again. So I'm just like, no, no, this was the final straw. I cannot. Unless you guys fucking donate me $1 million fucking dollars or something to finish this, then I will reconsider. But other than that, I'm deliberately saying that because first of all, I highly doubt that you're going to do that. And second of all, because I just want a goal that is so far out of reach that I just have an excuse to never touch this mod again. So that's it for Doki Doki Lost Ascension. I can completely understand why a lot of people call this one of the worst mods ever made, because I completely agree. It is definitely the worst mod that I've played so far. I'm very sorry to the developers, but I just could not fucking finish it. I'm so sorry. I really could not. I got so triggered on like so many types of things. Every single time when there was a humongous plot hole. Every single time when they're angry at the MC for no reason. Every single time that they forced me to read it again and again and again that they hated him. Which, like, the way they described it every single time was almost feeling like the person who wrote it was using them as a way to, like, give criticism themselves to humanity or men or the MC of the vanilla game or whatnot. I don't know. It almost felt like it wasn't the Dokis talking or thinking it was the person who wrote the mod talking, which is kind of fucking ironic because the reason why they're angry is because someone dictated their life for them. And what is happening here? Someone is putting words in their mouth, which is kind of, you know, it's kind of ironic if you think about it. I think that's a very poetic way to end it off here. But yeah, I'm done. I cannot fucking finish this. Unless someone donates me $1 million to finish it, I'm not touching this mod ever again. Yeah, I have more Doki Doki mods lined up. Better ones. Better ones. So I will be playing them, continuing with that. We end on an uneven... what's it called? An uneven number here. So this is on a Tuesday. So on Thursday there will be a random video, and then on next week Tuesday we're going to start a new mod. And I was gonna say I hope it's gonna be better than this, but the bar is so fucking... The bar of this mod has been set so low, it is a tripping hazard in hell. And here you are, limbo dancing with the devil. That's not my quote. That's I read it on Tumblr at some point, but. Yeah, the bar is so low, it's a tripping hazard in hell. So I highly doubt that the next mod will be will have any difficulty to reach above that bar. But yeah, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I cannot play this mod again or continue playing it. I get so angry every single time I play it. I cannot get past the first, like, a bunch of sentences before it triggers me so much that I have to say something about it. Because Monica is, you know, evil like that. And, you know, like, they believe her just like that. And everybody acts out of character just like that. And they all... I cannot put up with it anymore. I still, my headcanon is still makes this tolerable, that my headcanon that Monica, that this isn't about a mod about self-awareness or revenge on the MC or whatnot. It's just a story about Monica being extremely butthurt about the player deleting her character file, and this is her revenge. If that is the case, then chapeau, Monica, chapeau, good job. Because I literally could not finish the game. So you got your revenge there, Monica. If that was actually like the hidden meaning behind this mod, fucking great job. I take back all the criticism that I said. Good fucking job, developers. But I kind of doubt that it is. So because realistically, why would you make a mod that makes the player stop halfway through? I don't even know if we're halfway through, but I don't even care. I don't even want to see the end of the of this particular story. Like, The way that they physically cringe when they're nearby the MC for no reason, that's how I physically cringe when I have to read a few more of the sentences of this mod. Literally, it's like, oh my god, no. And, you know, that is the final straw now. I'm done. I cannot continue doing this anymore. I'm done. So next Thursday, a random video, and then next Tuesday, new mods, which will be better. Because I highly doubt that it can be worse than this. So I hope you enjoyed the cringe from my side and the rants and the anger. But I hopefully can get to a better mod next. So hope you enjoyed it, Summer. I hope you enjoyed watching me be pissed off. And then I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Walletto. Oh my fucking god. Oh, I can finally close this mod out. Are you sure you want to get... Yes, I am definitely sure.